A crimson moon hung heavy in a starless sky, its baleful light dripping over shattered pillar and broken arch, as if painting the world in regret. Here, beneath that grim celestial eye, and amidst the forsaken ruins of Aelrun, an elf sat hunched upon a cold stone, her shadow swallowed by a night that showed no mercy. Alone, but for the whispers of her guilt, she waited in that void, and her name was Elara. Elara once wore her hood with pride, a rogue of secret skills and clever wit, revered among the Gloamwalkers for her grace in shadow and her silver tongue. She moved through the city's dusk-lit alleys like a rumor, unseen, perhaps even unreal, and to her companions she was both an enigma and a balm. There was Callus, the fierce half-orc paladin clinging to faith, Morel, the mage-born human hiding sorrow in every spell, and Tanith, the Genasi ranger, wild as the storms she summoned. Together, they were meant to be legends. But legends are written in blood and bone, and Elara's own past bled ruin into the present. It began with the crack of a breaking vow, the night she turned her talents not to the mission, but to the call of an old flame, Varian, whispering of a better life in exchange for a single, betraying act. Elara, desperate to shake the shadow of poverty and prove her worth to the world, gave in. She delivered the wrong key into the right hands, thinking she could outwit fate. However, fate is a patient predator. The party's ambitions crashed to ruin. A relic of unimaginable power escaped their grasp, and the city itself burned with the vengeance of the dead. Elara's trembling hands stained by secrets, she watched as those she called friends were forged into strangers by suspicion. She searched their faces, Callus's jaw clenched in repressed fury, Morel's gaze drenched in mistrust, Tanith's cold winds blowing ever distant. The quest itself had become a funeral dirge. Elara tried to make amends, clawing at every chance to redeem herself. She shielded her companions from shadowy assassins and delved deeper into darkness to recover what she had unleashed. Yet the curse born from her betrayal clung to her spirit. At midnight, when the blood moon rose, haunting visions plagued her dreams. Forsaken, she was hunted by the wraiths of Aelrun's dead and damned each time she closed her eyes. The relic's magic had seeped into her soul, marking her with silver scars across her pale skin that shimmered and burned under the moon's gaze. The party's struggle became as much about reclaiming the relic as wrenching Elara back from a haunted edge. Morel, always the scholar, snapped, "Trust is as fragile as glass, Elara. Yours is shattered. Why should we risk ourselves for you?" Callus's blade, bloodied from another night's desperate defense, weighed heavy with judgment. Do not mistake forgiveness for forgetting. Elara, choking back regret, could only whisper to the night, "This was never the song I meant to write in blood." Yet even amidst their growing distance, the bonds forged in danger refused to break entirely. When the specter of Varian returned, twisted by his own greed into a nightmare beast, Elara was forced to choose betrayal or sacrifice. As the ruins howled with the fury of ancient dead, Elara faced Varian, blades flashing in the gloom. "This curse is mine. I will not let my shadow swallow them too." She fought not for herself but for the friends she had wounded. When the deafening silence fell at last, Varian's monstrous form lay broken, and Elara's blood mingled with the moonlit dust. The curse did not vanish, but its grip slackened, and her companions, battered but alive, drew near. Morel offered a small, sad smile. Even Tanith's stormlight eyes brimmed with something like hope. The journey ahead would be long, redemption a path measured in years rather than deeds. But Elara rose from the ruins. She wore her sorrow openly now, scars glittering beneath the blood moon, a rogue no longer running from her history, but remaking it step by step. As the fire's embers dwindled and the night crept in, Elara looked to her strange, broken family. Let us write a new story, together, one where regret is not the end. And so, to the wanderers who gather round the tavern's glow, remember, sometimes it is the flaw in the backstory, the poison in the thread, that shapes the most unforgettable heroes. What tale will you dare to tell?